Okay, good afternoon. Hope everyone is well. It is 24th of May. Wow, I say this every week, but aren't the months going quick? We'll be in June in a week. Unbelievable. Okay. FOMC news later this evening will be done and dusted by then, but I remember the last time we had news, it was an awful day. But so far, it doesn't look too bad. And as you can see, I've already taken a trade about an hour ago, just under an hour ago. So let's see who we got in at the moment. Indy, how you doing, buddy? Growl Daddy, good morning. Afternoon, how you doing, bud? Indy, not sure if I should try trade in or just mow the lawn. I've already done my lawn, mate, this morning. It's beautiful in the UK. It's about 20 degrees, 21 degrees here, something like that. Wall-to-wall sunshine, absolutely still. So I've been out and had a dip in the pool. It sounds a little bit more extravagant than it is. It's a steel frame pool with vinyl, 12 foot by a metre deep. But I just had a dip in there, mowed the lawns, trimmed the hedge, did a little bit of strimming. So I've done all that. Tea's in the oven. So I'm all sorted. Morning all, how you doing, Richard? So yeah, just out of curiosity, we were talking yesterday about there was people talking about Bookmap and all those types of bits of software. And interestingly enough, I went onto YouTube, and Bookmap, you can watch Bookmap. It's just playing 24 hours a day on YouTube, and I'm assuming they let you watch it, because then you might decide to buy it. And as I was looking at that trade, once that trade triggered, now I took, as you can see, to me, we look like we've got a leg down, a two-legged correction, followed by another leg down. I'm pretty sure this is my target. I'm pretty accurate with these. When I see these, I'm pretty confident. I know where it's going. And I saw that. So we had another leg down. We tried to go higher once, came back down, tried again. And I took my short one tick below that bar, because I thought, maybe after this leg and breaking a new low and it's pushed up strongly, there may be some long. So when that triggered above there, I put my short there. And interesting enough, I was looking at Bookmap on YouTube, and when that broke below there, on the top right-hand corner, I think it shows you buyers and sellers, and the sellers were 3 times the amount of the buyers. And then it came down nice and strongly there. So it's something I'm going to look into a bit more, that just maybe for confirmation that I'm not getting trapped on the wrong side of the market. Now, if there was more come there, if there was more buyers than sellers, I'd say then that might be going up. So all it might aid is just to stop you getting trapped, or, it just might help that extra little decision making. If there's 2 or 3 times the amount of shorts and you're going short, it's probably a good sign, but I'm going to look into it a bit more. Excuse me a sec, I've just got a parcel coming. I'll be 2 minutes. Sorry about that. More bloody makeup, my face creams. Oh, you are kidding me. Postman now. I think he's just going to put it through the door, so I think we're good. Pushed, I think. Let me check. Yeah, we're good. My wife's subscribed to this monthly thing on YouTube, and they keep selling us bloody face creams and nail stuff, and life was so simple when it was just me. Okay. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, just interesting. I'm just going to have a look into a bit more of that Bookmap, but it just shows you. So I know there's sellers to push that down there, but what I know is that I'm not going to get triggered. But the good thing about that is if you've gone long there, when that triggered, you literally tick off the their stops anyway. So that worked out fine. So I got a 200 on one account and 100 minus fees on the other. That's my once it's there. So I'm just trading two contracts on one and one contract on the other two. Market is open officially. That looks to me like a little bit of I do expect that to push down there, so we can get maybe one leg, two leg, and then another push. But it is looking nicely. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? Life was simple when it was just, yeah. Oh, we're forever getting. I mean, my daughter, she said to me the other day, I need some of these creams, Dad. So she took me to this website, £40 worth of just creams, and oh, she's 14, nearly 15, so they're all into face creams and all this sort of rubbish. Man, I use water, that's it. My skin looks younger than both of them. So there you go. But yeah, okay, so let's have a look. New high there. Trying to go once, trying to go twice. I'm not going to get interested in this, I think. I'm not. We're close to that leg anyway, that second leg. So I did think that was a touch congested, but we got one leg down, a two-legged correction, so I was expecting another leg down. And to be honest with you, the fact that I put it one tick below there, just in case I was getting trapped, that solved that problem there. So, okay, so push down, and we're a couple of ticks away from that measured legs. I'm pretty accurate with these at the moment. When I see this sort of thing where we got a leg down, there's also two legs within that leg, and then we've got a two-legged correction, and I expect another leg down. Boom, there you go. So, you know, maybe, maybe in time I can think about obviously adding runners. The trouble is, when you're only trading one or two contracts, it's just not feasible to have a runner. You know, you can't run half your profits really. I think Max says no more than about 25%. So if you're trading 5 contracts, you would have one runner, but obviously I haven't got the luxury of trading 5 contracts. But that's a shame there. I was pretty confident it was coming down, and if I had held on, it would have been, well, say 8.5 points as opposed to the 2. But there you go. Whenever I'm pretty confident they come down, it works. So I suppose as you progress and get better at it, and you get it right, you know, pretty much regular, then obviously maybe then you might decide to, you know, sit on that and let it go. So, where's 230? There we go. Yeah, so it was an interesting day yesterday. It wasn't too bad in the end. It didn't turn out to be a terrible day in the end. It was quite a learning day, you know what I mean? But it is interesting talking to other traders. You know, just seeing. But what I've got to be careful of doing is not listening to him, because that guy was going on and on about that short. Now, he was right, and I started to get the feeling he was right. But you've got to be careful not to try and swap your strategy or listen to other people, because, you know, I don't know the guy from Adam. He could be a veteran. He could be, you know, who knows. So let me just swap my pages around a sec. I like the comments above me, Ed. There we go. How you getting on, Sam, anyway? How's your trading coming on, bud? Second entry there. Trouble is, we've made that measured move, so I'm a little bit I'm not very comfortable with going short there just yet. We've had those 2 legs down. I like to give it a chance to maybe move some more. There is a possible second entry, but if it carries on and turns into a bit of a trending day, then obviously I may get him further down here, but it has clearly hit that measured leg. So let's see how we got on. GA, he was definitely right, but for a veteran to jump onto a stream here. The trouble is, and someone told me this, it's quite a lonely old business sat in a room by yourself. So sometimes it's interesting to chat to other traders. Part of the reason I stream is just to mix with other traders, find out what they got to say, what they're doing, But a veteran once told me, surround yourself with people you want to be like, mix in those sort of circles. So, but yeah, I mean, I started to get the feeling, because we had that one big leg, didn't we? And then we seemed to have a load of sideways, and it was looking like we were going to be pushing down. And I obviously got in probably lower than I should. Now, I took 1.75 points profit, and I could have sat in there for longer. But I've been in trades like that before, where all of a sudden you get like a flush, it pushes up and takes out loads of stops and then ends up going. So I'm always a bit wary about that. Now, maybe if the market would have moved 4 points and I'd have brought my stop down to 2, I'd have secured myself 2 points. So in that scenario, I don't mind letting it ride. But obviously I got to be careful getting sucked into, it's going, you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. And you start to think, am I going to miss out? So in the end, I just thought, take your 1.75 points, and that was it. And it did go, but that's fine. It's fine. I've got no problem with that. So does it look like it's coming down, or is it going to bounce and push out? I think it's going to bounce and push out personally, but I might be wrong. Because we've already hit this. So I think if we're going to have a break, it might be time for one now. So touch. We'll see. Might not. Perhaps it might have a lower high. I kind of hope it does keep coming down, because it'd be nice to get a range for once. Not been doing much YouTube stuff. You still been trading though, Sam, yeah? Got to keep trading, mate. Yeah. No, Jay, yeah, it can be pretty lonely, mate, and sometimes. It's nice to just listen to someone else, see what they're doing. It can be a lonely old business, can't it? Sat in a room by yourself, it's quite a lonely, so sometimes it's nice to have a bit of company or listen to someone rabbit on. Okay, I'd say, I don't think that's broken above there, is it? Yeah, as by 1 tick, so there is a lower high there. But because this measured move's played out, I've got to be careful. Yeah, still trading. Good on you, mate. Trouble is, when we have a push like that, it almost looks like a leg, and it concerns me that we're going to have a pullback and another leg, and then maybe get down. So it wasn't the best looking bar for a start, and I'm still not convinced it's going to come down here, because we've also made a double bottom. We've pushed up. Those legs have played out, see, so, I hope it is a downtrend, but I kind of don't want to be going short until it either breaks below this or carries on higher, and I'm assuming that's why it's probably not doing much. It may range a little bit first until someone figures out what we're going to do, but I don't know whether we're coming down more or whether we're going up, because these legs have played out. I've done that before. I've gone short after the legs have played out and it's failed, and someone said, well, the 2 legs have played out, so I've got to give it a chance to do what it's going to do. Yeah, I mean, he might just be a guy who's been doing it a few years from his bedroom, but you don't know, do you? I don't mind, but no, he was right. But you could start to see it was starting to tip. It had tried to go higher so many times, sorry about that, and just failed. So I think sooner or later the buyers are just going to give up. But look into that. You have a look at that, Sam, as well. Let me get it on YouTube, and I'll switch the volume down. I'll just show you quickly. And let me turn the volume off. You might hear something quickly, but a couple of people have mentioned this. Let me just switch the volumes off anyway. So I'm just going to drag it in quickly, if I can. Let me have a look. Okay, might be a bit confusing to some of you. It's confusing to me, to be fair. That's it there. And if you look at the top, and I'm pretty sure that's the mixture of buyers and sellers currently. And when I was going short there, the sellers were 3 times the amount of the buyers, which is telling me You see what I mean? The buyers are increasing there a touch. So let's have a look. So it just gives you more information. Now, I know it's not something we use on our strategy, but what I did like is because we had this bullish bar, I was a little bit nervous about that. But then I see there's 3 times the amount of sellers, which tells me if there's 3 times the amount of sellers, it's likely to come down, and it did. So whether it's, I don't know, failure here, whether it's something that you could maybe just glance at if you're looking at a trade that you're unsure about, maybe it'll give you maybe an extra bit of information, that's all. I don't know. It's something I'm going to look at. Okay, trying to go once. Okay, so we've got a high there, trying to go once. Can't see a failure yet, but we have come below here, so hopefully if we can continue down, we may get a trending day for once. Trouble is, it is slowing down now. It'd be nice to get a day going down or up for once, wouldn't it? Seems like an okay tool. Yeah, it looks completely confusing, but I think it's more of a visual thing, you know, with all the balls, the bigger the ball, the red, I think. I'm not too sure, but there are loads of videos. But I mean, we trade this exactly the same, but if you're going for a short here, you know, sometimes you'll get into a short and it'll tick below and then go up. Well, if you're going for a short in, there's 3 times the amount of sellers, then I think that's maybe a good indication that we're coming down. But it's something I'm just going to look into. Okay, so there's the failure, but I don't like this. The bars are getting smaller, and I'm not sure whether it's just coming down to retest these lows and it's going to push out. You've got to look at the resting orders on the right-hand side. I noticed there was 3 times the amount of those orders shorts than buyers. I'm assuming that is indicating there's more sellers there. Am I right in saying that, Jonathan? If this thing helps me maybe stay out of a stupid trade or something like that, then it may be a good, a useful tool that I might just keep above my head. And it's because it was congested a bit, that got me thinking. But then I was just looking at the bigger picture. Bigger picture tells me we've got a leg, a 2-legged correction, and a leg, and we came down exactly right. So I thought that was okay in the end, and I put it just to be on the safe side 1 tick below that bullish bar. I was going to finish by saying, but that's just what I hear. Yeah, I'm going to look into a few videos as I don't use Bookmap now. I've never used it, to be fair, but a couple of people yesterday were saying there's a load of buyers there, or there's a load of sellers there, or sell orders or whatever. So the trouble is we don't know. Maybe there may be a load of shorts up here, thinking if we come up and retest this, I'm going down, because we tend to take our trades 1 tick below that signal bar, where sellers might wait for it to break above there and sell there. And I know that because I've sold currency like that, waiting for it to hit a part, and I don't necessarily wait for a specific bar. So if there is a load of sellers up here and it hits those sellers and comes down, that might be an indication that, you know, if the market favours going short. I don't know, but we'll see. So I'm going to move this up a fraction because it actually fits really nice. I'm a little uncomfortable with it working so close to this line. Price break supports or what have you. Yeah, it's something worth looking at. Hey Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Hey Kay, how are you? Kay Tanner, how are you? How are you doing? We're all good, I think. All right, I'm just having a drink of me green juice. Yeah, it does seem to be almost bottoming out here, doesn't it? I'd say we're likely to get a break here, personally. Came back and retested it. Let's have a look. So try to go higher once, try to. There's a failure there, but it's just something about it I'm not wrapped about, especially as we've stopped here and see how that pushed up there and dropped, which tells me maybe there's some shorts there. Maybe there was some short orders there. See if it continues down. Pushed up and then dropped. Taken a couple of trades like that lately. I'm looking for a specific short here, and when it goes up, it dropped. Trend on is looking confirmed. It certainly is, mate. Touch, bunch of touches there. The trouble is, because it's so close, it's staying so close to that line, I've got a feeling we're going to get a break. See how it's losing momentum. You know, push down, sideways a bit, another push down. This is just not looking like it's coming down strongly. We've had this, there's almost two little legs there. One leg. It's losing momentum. I had a bunch of affiliate payments yesterday. Quite a few of them actually. So if anybody used that code yesterday and used my discount code, I appreciate that. There was about 10 of them went through yesterday. So much appreciated if you use one. You don't trade feelings. No, I mean, I'm not trading feelings. I'm just working out what I think it's going to do. It helps me just understand what's going on. I mean, we had a leg down there and a two-legged correction. So my feelings or thoughts that we were going to have another leg, and we did. And if I think it's coming down and it looks to me like it's coming down, I'm looking for a short. And there it is. Indy, you're welcome. Oh, you did one, mate, or did some. Yeah, thanks, Indy. I appreciate it. Yeah. I don't trade on feelings, but we're reading the market, aren't we? You know, this is learning to read the price action, and that's what I'm doing. So when I say I think it's going to do this, I think it's going to do that based on what I'm seeing. And if it happens, it just tells me that I'm in tune with the market. I mean, we had that leg down and a two-legged correction. So for me, I think that there's going to be another leg, and there was. So, you know, if I think it's going to do something, and if I think it's going to go down, then I'm looking for shorts. Because if I didn't think it was going to go down, I wouldn't have taken a short there. You may have taken, if I thought it was going to go up, you may have taken a long there. But I have a trend running from the past 2 days. Yeah, we don't tend to do that much. It's not that it doesn't work. I just hear no one really sort of saying it. Yeah, I mean, it sort of fits, doesn't it? But there again, you're missing out this, aren't we? So if you bring that down to there, it only really touches sort of here and here, doesn't it? So, I don't know, maybe as it is. I mean, what I do know is we're certainly, it's picking up a bit of speed again. So there's one leg down there, another leg down there, and it's touched. It's a powerful downtrend. Yeah, I've heard Al Brooks say when you see lots of these little bars slowly sideways going down, get on any second entry. Trouble is, I'm not a fan that it's going so close to this. So there's two little legs there, so let's draw a little channel there and see if... Yeah, this is a strong trend. Any SP or will work? Yeah, I heard someone said Al Brooks said that or something. Well, I thought the way sometimes when you lose that little bit of momentum down there, and I've heard Al Brooks say this, you lose a little bit of momentum, the bars get smaller and smaller and start to curve. Sometimes it's an indication that we're going to have a break. So I just said I thought we were going to have a break, and it just, because it was going smaller and smaller and almost looking like lots of stems and pullback. Yeah, this is just my opinion, mate. You don't have to listen. It's just chit chat. That's all. So we got a new high there, trying to go once, trying to go twice. That's a possible. Fairly trouble is you ain't got much room to the lows there. Yeah, it's a little bit congested, and we're right at the bottom there, so it's just a little bit risky, that is. Yeah, you have. I don't even think you've got a point to the lows really. So it's just a bit risky, that, in my opinion. I prefer a little bit of distance. It's definitely congested a bit there. Yeah, it just, for me, it's just losing a little bit of momentum. And we've had two legs down there as well. Trouble is, there's no real trade there. There's barely three ticks there. Is there 4 ticks to the low? Barely. Okay, so we've had a bit of a break here, just a little bit of a break, just out the top. Let's have a look. Touch there, touch there, touch, 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 touch. Small break. I don't know whether I consider that a break or not. Because if it is a break and a new low, it's made a break and a new low in one bar. Okay. So if we can get back down here a bit and start moving again. Yeah, that's the problem, mate. How many times do we see, sometimes you zoomed in here, by the time you zoom out at the end of the day and think, oh my God, it's come down 60 points and I haven't got a setup. Fortunately, I had that one early. Now, depending on how you follow that, if you follow that down to each swing high, you'd have been still in this trade. You'd have done that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Your stop would be there at the moment, so you may rush to take out your profits, but if you let it to do that first swing and just follow the swings down there and there and there. Trouble is, when you're only trading 2 contracts, you took that one, did you? When you're only trading 2 contracts on one account and 3 on the other, and 1 on the other 2, you haven't really got room to maneuver. That's why sometimes if we're in a trend, I'll let it come down so far, I'll bring me stop and secure myself 2 points and then try and let it run. So effectively, I'm securing myself a 2-point scalp, and then hopefully I would not consider that a convincing break of trend. No, me neither. That's why I said it. I don't think it's a break. Trouble is in this small little trend here, it's done that before, and what I've done is incorporated it like that, and I've gone short again there, and it started going out. So sometimes I always like to err on the side of caution and assume it's had a break, because if I'm thinking about going short again, I might get trapped here, but I don't think it's significant enough to slow this down. I don't think, but it is. It's slow in here, so I don't know. Maybe it'll come down, or maybe we'll have a decent break. It might be nice to retest the bottom of this measured leg, really, wouldn't it? So okay, so we got there. So let's have a look. And whether you consider that a new high after this, you probably wouldn't really, because it's not. See what happens here. So that's what I mean about that. I like to assume that it's had a break, because if we get a second entry short here and I go short and it goes out, I'll kick myself for not thinking, wow, well, we did have a little break. Now, it may only be a little break. See, there's no second entry there. It depends whether you recount these. I've seen Mac recount these sometimes, even though there's the new high, so it's first entry. There's the failure. So we'll see what happens here. But I just can't bring myself to go short just at the moment in case that does. I would not consider that. So it might trigger and push up. No, you're missing the point. What I'm trying to say is, in that little channel, you said I don't call it a convincing break. I don't. But I like to assume that we've had a break and it may now push higher. So I don't go short. Do you know what I mean? Because we've had a little break like that and I've gone short again and the market's pushed up and started to go higher. And when I look back, someone said to me, well, there's a break there. You know, so I always like to err on the side of caution that it may be a break and this may not continue down at the moment. So I'm just erring on the side of caution. Okay, so there's so there's no real setup there. There's no second entry or anything really. Okay, there's your lower high. Now I'm not taking this. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just not comfortable with taking this because we have had a little break. And I always like to give it the option. You know what I mean? It's triggered. See, and it probably will work, but I always like to just be a little bit cautious because I've taken those before and someone said, well, that little channel's had a break, isn't it? So I hope it does come down because I'd like to see a downtrend. You're in, are you? Okay. I don't think it's a terrible trade, but I'm just a little bit cautious, that's all. So that's certainly a break if that isn't rather. That's what I meant by using the EMA. Yeah. Yes, I got a bit concerned actually. It started to go a little bit sideways there. I always like to err on the side of caution because we've got this little channel down here and it's a small break. But the trouble is, we've had that before, and I've taken a second entry, and someone's pointed out the fact that we've had a break of a channel, and the break of a channel I meant was a lot smaller than that. So that's, do you know what I mean? That's the bit I just like to be careful. Right, I'm assuming you've got your scalp, have you? Because this may take out your stop, or it could be a failure. It's got a bit sideways for my liking. Yeah, 2 points it got down to. That's why I didn't take that, because the fact that we'd already, in my opinion, technically had a small break. No, I don't use runners either. I tend to go for 1-to-1, somewhere around about there. 2 points, 2 to 4 points, depending. So it's going sideways here. That's what makes me, I'm not a fan of getting into them trades. So I always err on the side of caution and say to myself, let's assume it's already had a break and made a new low, because I've got trapped before. So whenever you get trapped, obviously it looks like it's going to come down anyway, but I always like to be slightly cautious. Hope it does continue to come down. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit congested here. It's just whenever they go, see, I think sometimes the good trades just move and move quick because there'll be a lot of people in them. I was just concerned about that because it almost looks like it's bottoming a little bit. And I have to be aware that it has had a small break. Now, it may not be sufficient enough to cause it a problem, but it might be. And I've taken another short in another scenario before, exactly the same scenario as this, and it's triggered me and started going up, and someone said, but we've had a break. Now, it was a smaller break than that, so I always like to assume it is a small break, but it's a break nonetheless. So I always like to assume that it's had a break, and that may be a new low, so I don't really want to get into a short straight away. And it worked on this occasion, but when it was going sideways, I just hate being in trades like that, to be honest with you. But if we've got a strong trending day, it may just continue down. Yeah, I get that's why we use stops, but I like to be, sure when I get into a trade that I'm making the right decision, and I have to assume that that's a small break. In which case, if it is and we've made a new low, I don't necessarily want to be going short just yet, which is why I didn't take that. But, you can do whatever you want. It's just my thought process because, like I said, I've been caught out before. I've gone short here and someone's pointed out, yeah, but we've had a break. And so I have to just be careful, that's all. Treasury Secretary Yellen, 10 o'clock. Yeah. So, let's have a look at this. So this may end up being like almost like a spike in a channel. Let's have a look. What's that feeling like? It's possible. It is possible there's another channel running down there. I don't know. Trouble is, if it continues down, yeah, there is some medium impact news though. Like you mentioned, Treasury Secretary Yellen speaking at is that 3 or 5, I think, something like that, 3 or 5 UK time, which is now. Doesn't usually make a massive difference, medium impact news, but a few months ago when I was trading, we had a bit of a spike, and some reminded me there's some Chicago something news, so I put it on here just in case. But most of the time it doesn't cause a problem. Okay, so we've had more of a convincing break, and we've had 1, 2, 3 pushes down to a new low. It would be nice to get a decent downtrend. Good time for a bounce. We've had sort of a double bottom there, well, a triple or quadruple bottom there. It just might end up being one of those days where it just keeps coming down. I don't know. It's made a nice start to it. The frustrating thing is when you realise we've had one of those, days of consistent down, you've actually realised you've missed it all without a trade. So there was a short there, but I didn't like this. We'd played out that measured move, and we had almost like a small channel going up there, and I like to. It's a little bit risky, that was for me. That one, I may have taken it on on another day, but I just have to be aware that there may be a small break here. And like I say, we've had a little break on a channel before, and I've gone short there, and it's triggered me and started pushing up. And I say what went wrong, and someone said, we've had a little break. So even small breaks sometimes can make a difference. Yeah, it is. See, I'd say now how this is forming, we may have maybe a little spike and channel from here. So let's put it there somewhere. Let's have a look. Let's just take that up a bit to maybe there. Something like that. I always like to let's have a look. It's possible, really, if I just fade that touch. Let me have a look. Okay, maybe a little bit of spike and channel, touch there, touch, possibly. I don't know. I'm not mega convinced. No chance. Let's have a look. First break of a large downtrend. Well, it is a break, but it seems to be continuing down, which is why I've just adjusted that. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. And if we get a break up here and then it comes down, then we may end up then having a bigger channel somehow. See, I would prefer that really to run along the bottom. Yeah, so we had that leg down, 2-legged correction, another leg down, and then we bounced up and we just continue to go down. There was a little bit of a, yeah. I just had to be aware of that, and I wanted to give it a chance to come down some more. These bars are getting nice and small, which is telling me we may just get a good, strong push down. The trouble is, you got to try and get in on them quick, haven't you? Yeah, it's always where I take my trades, anyone from the EMA. For me, the EMA is more important than the trend line. That is the 21-day exponential moving average. We just use it as a magnet when it comes back. That's usually where we do our trades. time is it? We've got plenty of time. I'm already in with a trade anyway. I've got 2 points here. So, yeah, if I finish, so I'm up $400 on my 3 PA accounts anyway. So if it does nothing else, I'm all good. See, I always like it to hit the EMA. Sometimes I've gone, short here and the EMA's been above it and it's stopped me out. It's triggered me and gone up to the EMA. So, I mean, ideally, if you can get both, I mean, if you could trade, something like that with both, if that was bearish. Oh, thanks for the advice. I appreciate it. How long have you been trading for, incidentally? Oh, 5 years on Pat. Fair enough. I've only been doing 2 years, so you've got 3 years on me. See, there's a second entry there, but it's just a little bit sideways. Are you in on that one, are you? Second entry short. It's a bit congested there. Yeah, that lonely poor guy I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, I stream my journey really. I'm not here teaching anybody. I just purely stream my journey. This is, I was having trouble with the psychological side of it and the revenge trading a bit. So I thought if I stream, I'm less likely to do something if someone was watching, and it's worked. So yeah, it's a little bit sideways there. I prefer it to pop out really. I mean, if we can push above here and then close around about here. So Kay, are you a guy? Are you? Incidentally, Kay, it's all right. You got a little flower there, so I didn't know whether you're a lady or not. That's the first question. Second question: do you fund your own account, or are you like with Apex or something like that? Yeah, there is congestion, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah, so there's a first entry. We push up here a little bit and then close below here. Bearish, and we say this all the time, don't we? It goes sideways, sideways, sideways until you get a decent looking bar right at the key entry point. So the next bar, hopefully, if we push above a bit and then come down. Yeah, it almost looks like it's bottoming, doesn't it? You have problems oversharing. My apologies. Oh, don't apologise here, mate. Don't. You can say what you want here, pretty much. I've had all sorts of stuff. Well, to be fair, actually, everyone's okay, actually. I'm going nearly 6 months now. Five and a bit months. It's quite a nice little group, actually. You were there for I was there for a year. Where were you for a year, bud? A ton. Where were you for a year? With Mac, you mean? With Mac. Oh, the forum. Sorry, I didn't realise Sam had said about the forum. Okay, new low, try go low, one struggle, so possible failure, possible failed second entry short. Let's see if this triggers. If it triggers. Good afternoon, Edward. How are you? How are you? I have one, mate. I took that one. Funnily enough, I had Bookmap on YouTube just out of curiosity, and it was saying there was 3 times as many sellers there. Well, from what I could gather, it was saying, and that came down nicely. Okay, so new low, try go on, try go twice, triggered. So if this comes down, I'd say, let me have a look. Reversal setup. Well, it does look like it's bottoming, doesn't it? If that was going to come down there anyway and break below there, it'd trap any longs there, but I did mention it looked like it was bottoming. I'm good. Excellent. Excellent. I've not spent much time around the forum. Perhaps I should spend a bit more. It does almost look like you could adjust this. It's touching right the way along there, but I don't like to miss out a lot of this, so whether it will end up being something like this or not, I don't know. It's sort of almost a 2-tiered channel, really, isn't it? We've had that push down, and we're sort of working in this section, and we've pushed above, and we've come back, so let's see what happens. If it continues to come down, there's a couple of legs up there. If it continues to come down, then we might have to extend this a bit. So, okay, so let's have a look. See what happens here. It does look like 1 leg, 2 leg, doesn't it? So maybe it's going to come down again. See, because it is bearish, I mean, it could come down. I mean, really, it may not even be a break, really. There may be something bigger cooking there. I'm leaving it like that until we figure out if it does start to push down again, then there may be something bigger. But So, Kay, do you trade your own account, or do you trade like a funded account with Apex or one of the prop firms? Interested. It is quite bearish, so I think it's feasible that it could come back down and there may be some kind of a bigger channel working there. Let's see what happens here. I mean, it is possible that there could be something working up there. I don't think it doesn't look right to me. It's just like a PA Apex account. Yeah, same here. Much better to do it with Apex, isn't it, with the prop firms? And you need to chunk your own money really to make money, don't you? Otherwise. Yeah, my opinion, I've tried, I've been with Apex for about a year now, a little over a year. I've tried UProfit and Earn to Trade. I think they're the other two I've tried. UProfit and Earn to Trade. Just wonder if there's a bigger range maybe there. Okay, there's our answer. Let's have a look. Okay, so see what happens here. So that touch, break, new low. Now there may be something bigger working there. So let's go from that way. See if that helps. You seen that on Bookmap, Edward, did you? I was having a look at Bookmap before, actually. They play it on YouTube, don't they? Yeah. Okay, so we've had a break at this. A new low, so I don't know. We had a break in a new low here and we work it down, so it may just continue down. It may be one of them days. Okay, short-term trend channel. Try to go once, try to go twice. Trouble is, it's risky going short here because of this break. I mean, it's relatively bearish. There's no argument there, but at some point it could break and push out. And I don't want to be on the wrong side of the market. So as we've had this break, I like to give it a chance to maybe have an attempt to go higher and come back down. But short-term trend channel break. Try to go once, try to go twice. Could be one leg, two leg. Short-term trend channel, one leg, two leg. Get something bearish, maybe. I'm just not a massive fan of this at the moment. Just in case. Interesting. Pushed up there and dropped. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make myself a cup of tea. We've had a break, new low anyway, so it may be working higher, it may come down, there may be a bigger channel there, I'm not sure. So quick 5-minute break and then I will be back. Okay. What did I miss? Not a lot. Sam, how are you, mate? I do like that channel. It's trading in this top tier of it, really, isn't it? With the exception of a quick push down, and I use that as a spiking channel. Touch there, touched. Good afternoon, Angela. How are you? Quiet this morning so far. Difficult, dangerous to trade. Yeah, there was one set up there. I left it because I had the channel slightly different, and there was just a small break there, and sometimes it's caught me out before that. I've gone short there, but it did work. It's quite a strong day. Now looking a bit rangy, it is, isn't it? I wasn't going to put a range in until we get up to these highs and then back to these lows. At the moment, it's down and up, isn't it? But yeah, there is a possibility that it may do something like that for a while. Up $200. Yeah, 200 on there. I got the 3 PA accounts. So yeah, there they are. I got two contracts on one of them and one contract on both the other ones, but yeah, I got that one there. I saw that as we had one leg down, a 2-legged correction. I expected another leg down, and there was a second entry short there, a little bit congested, but after that leg and the correction, I did expect another leg, and it did work. Sometimes you just got to get in, haven't you? But I was looking on that book map, and there was 3 times the amount of sellers there, so whether that made a difference or not, who knows. That's what you want, isn't it? If you can get in a trade early, I mean, I've got, I think a few times in the last week, I've got in a trade early. Sometimes it seems a bit easy to read, doesn't it? We got a leg, break, leg, leg, break, leg, leg, break, leg. It's quite predictable there, isn't it? One leg down, break, another leg down, one leg up, break, another leg up, one leg down, break, another leg. It's quite predictable, I find, earlier, sometimes in the mornings. It's a little bit easier to work out what's going on. Volumes a bit. It's more true, isn't it? There's this, and as soon as main market opens, sometimes it can get a little bit. Well, it's clearly coming down, but unfortunately, there wasn't really a lot in this. And then we had this. Apart from that, we pushed down, bottom, a couple of breaks. So I was kind of hoping we continue down here, but we may get a little bit of range. May go sideways for a while. So look, possible. If we come up here and bounce and come down there, then yeah, it may be it. I mean, we've had this break, see, so maybe there's a bit of uncertainty. Are we going up, or are we coming? Are we continuing down, or are we going back up? Or we got the FOMC, so it may just do this then for the rest of the day. It's certainly not unheard of, is it? So I like to try and, yeah, I get to them, I jump in. I mean, I was doing some stuff in the garden, so I just had a quick shower and I switched my machine on, just before I got in the shower, and had a look, and then I noticed that one, or just after I had a shower anyway, so we're in anyway, 2 point. I don't want to be greedy, I just took it out. But what I did there is we had this sort of low, there was a bullish bar there, which triggered. So there may have been a few in there, I don't know. But I actually put my order 1 tick below that bar, so just in case there was, I put it below there just to, you know, be certain it's in the right place if we are coming down, and it just took a couple of points. You know me, sometimes I tend to like the way Taylor from Top Pick Trading works. He tends to go for 2 to 4 points. Now, I mean, if we got a bigger channel and we come back in, there's 6 points to the new lows, then I'll go for 4 points. The last couple of days we had smaller ranges, so I tend to go for more the 2 points and just get something rather than try and be a bit. But obviously, you know, things change, don't they? How's DJ? Is he with you? Or is he cleaning the house and cooking the dinner? That's what I do at the moment. Clean and cook. I'm the housewife at the moment. Housewife stroke gardener stroke cook. Had a busy morning. I've done some washing, I've done some cooking, I've done some shopping. I've delivered the kid to school. I even started watching some of that Irishman this morning. I watched about half an hour of it, 40 minutes of it. Interesting. Now let's see what happens here. So we've had a channel up there, we've had a break. New high, couple of legs back, and another push up. Kippers. Ooh, I haven't had kippers for years. Kippers, I haven't had them for years. Kippers with some bread and butter. Okay, so we've had this channel. We're breaking this. It's sort of like a leg and a leg, isn't it? But I'm avoiding this. I am. I'm a little bit unsure what we're doing here. We've had this break and a new low, so we may come up. We may still push up. I don't know. It's just slightly risky, in my opinion. There could be a bit of a channel going there, see, so I don't really want to go short, although it does seem like at the top, if this is a channel, it's at the top of the channel, so it's not the most attractive place to buy, so maybe it will come down. So I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. There is a possibility of a channel working up as we've had this break in a new low, but I'm not a fan of going short there just yet. See if we are going up. There was a second entry. Well, it was a bit of an inside bar, really. So, come to think about it, but oh, you took a trade as well, did you? Oh, good on you. Well done, Angela. I like getting them in early if I can. I don't know, there just seems less traps when you get in a bit early. So once you get into this, there's just traps galore, isn't there? But it's definitely easier to read this, isn't it? We've got a leg, breaking a leg. It's like a measured move down, is it? Another measured move, another measured move. It does seem a little bit more predictable. So yeah, sometimes I like to get in and out quick. You set yourself up for the day, then you take the pressure off you. Trouble is, when you get into the end of the day, I find sometimes when I'm getting to that 3 hours, sometimes I take silly trades sometimes, but I'm under no pressure now. Possible second entry long off here. I'm still a little bit uncertain what's going on. Looking for a failed second entry long. See, there's two schools of thought here. There's a school of thought where we've had a break and we've had a new low and we're now working up. Or this could turn into a bit of a range, so failed second entry long from here. I don't know whether I'm thinking about going short at the moment. I mean, it could be a failed. So there's a second entry long there, so this could be a failure, and it could come down, and it may be a range, but it is possible it could be a channel working up. I'm not sure. We'll soon find out now if your failed second entry works. The only reason I've put that is we've touched there, and touched there, so I'm not sure whether it is, but it may be. I'm just a bit uncertain what's going on. I mean, there is a second entry long there, which is struggling to push up. I suppose the answer will be as if we get above here. See, there's a failed second entry short there. New low, try go once, try go low twice. Failure triggered. So let's see if it does go up. touch. It is possible, because we've had this break in a new low, it is possible we could be working up. I don't know, just it's a bit too early really. Yeah, I'd prefer it to break out, come back, retest, and then push up. It didn't set up. Yeah, the second entry long probably made a point, doesn't it? It's not finished yet. It may. It is a little bit uncertain at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on, so probably the best decision I can make is just to stay out and let it sort itself out. We've had this break, and initially we've just had a push up and a little bit of choppy sideways a touch. Okay, so if you took that second entry long, you'd have made 2 points, I think. Not quite 2 points. I wouldn't have taken a second entry long there, to be honest with you, or the failure, because price is being held by this top line, so it could be a range. I'm not sure either at the moment. If it comes down now, then I'd say it's more like a range, unless it comes down and bounces off here, but I'm just a bit uncertain whether we're in a range or we're in a channel. The fact that it's pushed up there and touched there and come down tells me we've had a bit of a gap there, so it may then now be a range. Let's get rid of that for now. It's a gap there. So could you not class that as your failure? No, a new high, try go once, try go twice, failure. Trouble is you don't really want to take it as it's moving up there, just in case. It's not what I would call a well-formed range just yet. We come down here and bounce off here a bit more, then it's certainly starting to look like a range. Touch. See what happens here. See, there could be a bigger channel working down here. Okay, that sort of looks quite nice actually. Touch. There may be something bigger working there. In that case, it may start to work down some more. It's possible. I'd like to see, and maybe something else up here. It's only really touched so once, twice, 3 times. But you can more or less always make something touch 3 times, I suppose, can't you? In fact, touch, probably a little bit higher there. So in which case, touch is nice there, Certainly looks like the 2 sort of second. Yeah, there may be a bigger channel. It's probably going to be a bit later on where we see this. But we've had this push down with a 2-leg correction, another push down, and now we've been working in this bottom tier. In fact, you could probably even adjust that slightly. Maybe something like that. Maybe, I don't know. It does look like it's working in this bottom tier, and we've pushed up, and now we may come working in this tier. I'm not sure. I'm going to remove it, but it may come back later on. But it is possible there could be something bigger brewing there, in which case this may then continue down. So if we can get down to here and maybe push back up, then maybe I'll look for something here. Certainly got a bearish feel about things, but we have got the FOMC meeting later, so it may just start doing something like this for the rest of the day. Touch. Let's see what happens here. See if it plants through. There could be a leg and a leg. It may come out the bottom. It's possible. One leg. Two leg. See, I think I'm going to start looking at that bookmap a bit. I think things like bookmap comes into its own when you're in a range, I do, because if you're seeing there's a load of buyers down here, you know, fair indicator that we may be, you know, moving back up again. Trouble is, when you got these ranges bouncing from top to bottom, you never quite know when it's going to bounce out. And I've done this many times. I've seen it go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, and the second I get into it, comes down, couple of ticks, stops me out, comes up to here, and then breaks and comes back in. So I think that the thing is with that bookmap, if you can see there's shorts up here and buyers down here, then that may indicate an indicator that we're going to continue to range for a while, in which case, you know, you can short the tops and buy the bottoms. But it'd be nice to have some other indicator, maybe that bookmap showing, you know, maybe some strong sellers up here, which then if it does break above here and push down, then that might be an extra indicator that this is the place to go short now. I don't have to worry about it triggering. How much is the description? To be fair, Sam, you can watch it for free. Let me just get it up quickly. I don't fully know how to use it, but I think a few people have been saying it's something that can be useful. I'm just going to get it on the sounds off, but it's basically, I'm going to enlarge it quickly on the screen, but it's basically that. Now, it looks completely confusing, but what I was looking at is this top right. At the moment, there's an average of buyers and sellers, but when I took that short, the sellers were 180 and the buyers were 30, which tells me there's more. So now I don't follow this out. I think it's more of a visual thing. It is completely confusing, but apparently when you do learn to use it, apparently it's a lot more straightforward. But at least maybe if you're inexperienced, I mean, I've been trading for 2 years this style, 2.5 years. So I class myself as just touching the intermediate level, whereas I'm past that beginner stage. But if I can see there's strong buyers down here and it breaks out and pushes up to a bullish bar, then that might give you just an extra little pat on the back that, yeah, well, I think we're going in the right direction. Because I'm not a massive fan of picking tops and bottoms. Even though Max says, you know, he thinks trading ranges are easy, you just short the tops and buy the bottoms, but it's not always that straightforward. You know, if it comes up in exactly the same place, yeah, but I'd much prefer to short the tops if we're in a downtrend. There are free courses. Yeah, there probably is. But it'd be nice to just have it on a screen above. And if I'm thinking about, okay, let's have a look at this. The market's ranging at the moment. If it goes up and breaks out and I see a lot of sell orders in there and hardly any buyers, then that might be an indicator that we're going to come down and for another leg, because obviously we've got 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 legs, but at some point it could pop out the top or the bottom. And that's what concerns me. I'm not a massive fan of ranges. Don't need a crutch. Well, if you've got a broken leg, mate, a crutch can be quite useful from time to time. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but, you know, if you got something there that you can say, actually, right above this, there's a lot of sell orders, then maybe, you know, because when I looked at that, they almost looked like a trend. So there was a second entry long there, so some people may have gone long. But if they'd have seen there's a lot of sellers up here, it may keep you out of that trade. So maybe it work, maybe it won't. But, you know, it's not going to make me change my strategy. All it might help me do is if there's a little bit of uncertainty, it might help me make a better decision. And if it saves me 1 trade a month, then it's you know, you can just pop it above your head. But I know when I was trading yesterday, and there was quite a few guys saying there's a lot of orders above their orders below there, and they were right, exactly right. It did exactly what they said it was going to, based on reading Bookmap. And they were saying that, you know, there's lots of, every time it came up, there was lots of sellers, not so many buyers, which is why, you know, I don't know, helps getting confirmed. Well, yeah, if anything, I mean, even if you're in a short and all of a sudden there's aggressive selling, It might help you with your runner. Now, the trouble is with the runners, when you're inexperienced, you might not know how far to, do I, if all of a sudden the set were down here and your runner's here and the sellers are running out, then maybe you just grab as much profit as you can. Or for instance, I think they just might help you control your runners better. I don't know. A lot of orders spoofing. There is 2 orders appearing, disappearing. Not sure how. Exactly. But just out of curiosity, I'm happy to watch an hour's worth and watch it and see if I can figure what it's about. Maybe if it helps me make one better decision a month, then fine. But I would probably use it to keep out of a trade. I know I had a message from Mac maybe, and someone else mentioned it the other day. I messaged Mac about a year ago, and he said, look for a reason to stay out of a trade, not look for a reason to get into a trade. So, I tend to ask myself now, is this a valid trade, or am I trying to squeeze something? Am I pushing things? Yeah, see, if all of a sudden you need to spend more time in the forum. What does the forum do, though, apart from chit-chat? I don't spend much time, really, to be honest with you. I still watch his video. I had him for a year, and I watched the videos regularly and traded. But I've changed my job, luckily, because I'm in the UK. Official market doesn't really open until 2:30, so I work, like 30 hours weekends, so I can trade full-time. But I don't know what the forums do, really, apart from maybe a little bit of, sort of chatting amongst yourselves. But if anything helps me, you could potentially just slow your progression. I think it's a case of, if I'm thinking about going short here, and there's not many shorts, then maybe I'm getting trapped, because as an inexperienced trader, sometimes you get trapped, and I don't know, it's, I'll always listen to something new, or if someone says that can give you a good indicator that you're on the right side of the market. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. I don't know. Just out of curiosity. There may be a bigger channel here, really. It's starting to look like it. You will learn the technicals better. Where? In the forum? What do you do? Just what do you do, really? Because I post, usually most days, I post my chart on the Facebook group. I did that for the first sort of year and a half, and I just asked for feedback, as much feedback as I could. That's only 40% of trading. So, yeah. At the end of the day, it's a lot of as much screen time as you can, and just try and follow the rules. And obviously, the psychological side was something that I think will develop the more you're exposed to, the psychological side of it. Risk. Trouble is, we're not designed to. We've sort of adapted not to work like a trader, haven't we? It's not a quick thing. Like I say, you've been trading 5 years. I've only been trading two years. I'd expect you to be a lot more advanced than me. So it did look like a leg and a leg, but so what do? You're going to go long here, 1, 2. Trouble is, for me, I think I'm erring on the side of bearish, so I'm not a fan of going long off these bottoms. I think I prefer to short the tops. Pick the answers into it. I mean, I chat with traders here, and I chat with people online. I have a chat with now and again, Nick Sesto, and I know he trades a bit with Daniel. I think Daniel mentors him a little bit, and I have a chat with him, and I chat with Marco a little bit. So if there's any questions I need, I always ask. I've never been shy about asking questions. Okay. I did have that leg there, didn't I? Let's see if it... Love Eric. Hope he's doing okay. Yeah, I'll have to spend some more time. I thought that all it was for really is posting a question and that's it. Mac gets back to you, but I ask Mac a question once in a while. A few every now and again. And not more experience. Oh, are a lot more experience. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I got you. Difference, I think, would be the guys on the forum are a lot more experienced, way more so than Daniel. Okay. See, I think the people who I tend to sort of listen to or follow a bit more are Daniel and Marco, only because I know they've been trading way longer than me, and I know Daniel makes a ton of money. Marco, chat to him a few times. Oh, mate, trust me, I've changed my whole life around for trading. I work all weekend now, and I trade full time. I'm never not reading. I'm going to bed at night listening to the greatest loser or the best loser wins, something like that. Mac posts his chart usually around about midnight, 1 in the morning. If I wake at night, I watch his chart. Sometimes I go to bed with hypnosis stuff. I've changed my whole life to incorporate trading, but it takes time. It's not easy. And I don't mind, I've had one of my breakthroughs on the forums talking with Mac. I thought Mac, I didn't think he'd like lots of questions. I'll have to do it. Don't use them. Don't use them. Only Mac or use TW. TW. Okay, I didn't think there was a lot going on the forum. I thought it was just maybe to post a question to Mac, really. But the trouble is, if you don't use it, you don't know. But I did a year with Mac, and then the year lapsed, I think, last June, and I signed up again just before Christmas because, I'm a sort of believer, and it's always good to go back over the basics. Okay, so... it looks like a channel here. See, whether this is a range or not now, I don't know. It probably is, but Thomas Wade. See, I don't really rate Thomas Wade, to be honest with you. He used to post quite a few of his trades, and some of them I was quite surprised with. Some of the trades, his losses, I thought they were quite, so I don't know. I don't know. I thought people like Marco and Daniel were sort of more experienced than Thomas. Maybe not. See, I didn't know whether this was going to come down, break out, retest the bottoms and continue down. Oh, big bearish bar. Is that a teaser for shorts to get trapped? It's not something I really want to get in. There's not much room to the lows, and it may be a trap. But yeah, I'm on here trading and learning. The only reason I started streaming is because if I got people watching, I'm less likely to just jump in and be stupid. And it's worked. It gets me chatting with other people, trading day by day. You get comments on what other people are thinking, and I get to meet all sorts of people. So it does look like there's a bit of a channel here. I'm not 100% convinced. See what happens. Okay, high or low, but if you went short there, it triggered you, and it's probably going to stop you out. But I'm not not convinced it's going to push higher. If it is bearish, I think I'd be more comfortable with shorting at the tops. So I don't really want to go there. There could be a double trap anyway. Now that, if that came down bearish, that would be a second entry short. And I dare say there's probably going to be some longs in there. It certainly looks rangy. There's probably going to be some longs, so that's triggered. Whether that does come down or not, I don't know, but it may do. So then that would be a second entry short. I didn't think Thomas Wade was on the forum, to be honest with you. I thought Thomas Wade did his own thing. I thought he had his own, sign up and subscription thing. Trouble is, if it's bearish, I would much prefer to go short at the tops and then long at the bottoms. Now, it's just interesting how we had this bearish bar, it triggered, pushed up. So you've got a higher low there at the bottom of the range. So there's probably going to be some longs there, and it's interesting how it's triggered. And it seems to, it was just interested to see if it does come down and take out those longs, but it's obviously not. For me, Thomas Wade is the strong. Is he really a person I've learned the most from? I just didn't think he did anything on the forum with Max. I thought he did his own thing. I didn't think he was as experienced as people like Marco and that. No, maybe he is. Oh, interesting. Now that's some strong selling, isn't it? So if you did go long there, you got a couple of points out of it, but no more. And let's have a look. If you went long there, yeah, you'd have got a couple of points, 2.25. Trouble is, it went up and then just dropped. Yeah, see, for me, the market's looking bearish, so I'm uncomfortable with going long from the bottom because it may go like sideways, and at some point it'll push down, pull back in, and then continue lower. Then, so that's why I'm not a fan. Start going up. No, I don't think it's gonna, is it? Marco needs more time on the forum too. No, does he? I thought Marco was okay. I know Marco does well. He has 10 PA accounts and goes for an average of $200 a day on each of them, so he earns okay, I think. So I thought, if you're earning money regularly and consistently, it's okay. So there's a possible failure there. I just don't like the way that just dropped. That told me there's obviously some sellers there thinking this is a break and a new low. Oh, well, there you go. So I'm surprised Thomas Wade is even on there. I thought Thomas had his own thing. You can sign up and do your. I didn't think he was in on the forums, to be fair. Okay, so interesting. So there's a failed second entry short off the bottom of this range again, which is triggered and looks like it may get stopped out. You may have took that higher low, which went up for about 2.25 points. So I'm not a fan of going long here. This is just looking a bit bearish to me. Bit of a channel maybe, a couple of legs up. I think that might be the place to go short, but I just can't go short into the bottom of that range. That's the only issue I have. But I think it's, really bearish, really bearish. A little bit of sideways, pull down, pull back in and drop lower. I think we're coming lower personally, but which is why I'm not taking a trade long off here. I do not think Thomas Wade would email Mac and cry about a trade. Yeah, I don't want to be going long here. Not after that big drop. That told me there's some sellers up there. Lower high, triggered, stopped out by just loads of traps looking, so it's a little bit choppy and a little bit uncertain. Yeah, I think the biggest copycats were the who was the two? The two guys scared to go long, even at the bottom of the range. I'll tell you why I'm scared to go long. I'm not scared to go long. We've started really bearish. Now it may just go sideways and then come again. And the reason is it pushed up and then we had a big drop like that, and it's just, I don't know. And not that I was going long into the EMA, so I don't know. I'd rather go short. It's not that I'm scared to. It's not about being scared, it's about making decisions, and I didn't feel comfortable with it, so I stayed out of it. I get that, but we've still got to make a decision on whether we get in a trade. And Mac told me in a chat, he went, look for a reason not to take a trade. Don't look for a reason to take a trade. Now, the reason for me is we're bearish at the moment. So I'm just not a fan of going long. I much prefer to short the tops. A student message Mac asked him why the trade that Thomas failed, because Thomas told the trader it was a good trade that just failed. Yeah, I didn't think Mac had anything to do with Thomas, to be honest with you. We'll see. Yeah, this is why I don't want to go long off here. I don't like this. It's just looking bearish to me. The day's looking bearish so far. We've had a break. We might just try to go higher a couple of times, push down, a little bit of a break, come back in, and then down some more. That's what it's looking like, which is why I don't want to get into a long trade there. Every time we go up, we're selling off quickly. We had that strong push down, and we had another one there. Chin and Coleman, yeah. They actually got me interested in this. I started trading currency with Andrew Lockwood, a British trader who traded for a couple of big city banks in the London Stock Exchange during the 80s. And I started trading in his group, and I did 6 months with him. The trouble is with currency, you got screens everywhere, charts everywhere, multiple currency pairs on multiple screens. It just, and then when I saw those two guys, Chin and Coleman, just trading one chart, one time frame, I thought, that's a bit of me. That's, you know. And I was about to pay for their course, but I don't buy a toaster without YouTubing it or Googling it first. So I, did a little bit of studying. So Thomas Wade was a student. Oh yeah, I don't doubt he was. Marco, a student. You're a student. Me, a student. Mac is the boss. Yeah. But I thought Thomas Wade had gone off and done his own thing. That's why I didn't think he had anything to do with the forum or anything. Thomas said he never watched Mac. See, I think didn't Mac initially work from Al Brooks, didn't he? I think did he? Did someone tell me that? I can't remember. I learned from Al Brooks and then just sort of slowly put his own thing. He was on the forums, was he? Yeah. $4 hello, Nicholas. Where have you been hiding, mate? I'm DBK's boss. Where are you? I haven't seen you for a while, mate. Where you been hiding? I thought you'd ditched me and gone off to Panda. He's had a couple of rough days. Panda, isn't he? He passed that. Stole Brooks, did he? Yeah. Al Brooks. He's a funny old soul, isn't he, Al Brooks? He's like your favourite granddad. I just... For some reason, I can't see him sat in front of a screen. He looks like I'd expect him to sit outside a little old knackered old shed on an allotment in a pair of wellies digging up his sprouts. He just doesn't strike me as a trader. Where you been? Where you been hiding? I thought you'd ditched me and moved over to the Panda. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you. It's been I bet you haven't taken many this week, have you? Or over the last week, it's just been a bit hard lately, isn't it? I did message Mac about this a month back, and he said apparently this is the norm. What it was 2 years ago was the exception. So I'm thinking, what I will say though is as interest rates start to come down and we start to get, a nice steady 2% growth, we may get nicer trending days. Now that's just my thought. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But, we may get sort of nice steady. Hey man, what trade did you take? I took that second entry short there, and the reason I took it is we had a leg down, a two-legged correction, and I expected another leg down, which we did. And I took a second entry short there. Now there was Al Brooks, wasn't I? Yeah, I did hear it was he went to medical school, didn't he? Eye surgeon. He's got them great big goggles stuck on his head, isn't he? You think he'd have got some trendy glasses, wouldn't you? He's like your favourite granddaddy, isn't he? He's got to be getting on a bit. He still does his YouTube stuff, I think. He still does his courses, doesn't he? I think he's certainly worth watching. People like him. I think he's almost sort of mastered trading a bit, isn't he? He's like the Grand Master, I suppose. Interesting. I was watching Bookmap on YouTube when I took that, and there was 3 times as many sellers as there was buyers, and it pushed down and pushed down and pushed down, and all of a sudden the sellers decreased and the buyers increased, and then the market went up a bit. So that Bookmap maybe, I don't know, maybe something you'll look at or something. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go long here. You're going to be stuck in that. You could be stuck in that forever. We've got that news later. I'm not a fan of this stuff. It's messy, isn't it? I've spent so much time getting chopped up in these things, and after a while you start to learn. You took it too with a nice runner, did you? Yeah. Now, the trouble is, because I got 3 PA accounts. I trade 2 contracts on one. Watching the bubble charts. Yeah, that's it. A couple of people on the stream have mentioned it. Now, how can it help us? You see here, so we've got a new low there, yeah. There's a first entry there. You could call that high or low. Big, nice, bullish bar. Now, there's a channel down there and a break. 2 legs to a new low. It could technically be pushing up. But if I see this and I see way more sellers than buyers, then that would indicate to me it's likely we're going to come down. If it's the other way round, it's likely I might get trapped, So I thought maybe it's something I should look into. Have it on my screen above. At least it might keep me on the right side of the market. It might stop me getting caught in a trap if I misjudge it. Now, if I'm seeing strong sellers above here, then that might be a good, place to... Now, for me, this market's bearish. Now, if the buyers down here aren't very strong, then that tells me maybe I shouldn't think about buying. You know what I mean? Because my thought process is we've had this big, strong down leg, a bit more sideways, and we could come down again. So I don't want to get trapped going long here. So whether it may help me or not, I mean, it does look absolutely bloody confusing, doesn't it? It looks like a load of air balloons which have sort of intermingled a bit, but apparently it's not as difficult as it looks when you understand what's going on. I think it's more of a visual reference than seeing, order flow at that time of the second entry short. Yeah, that time of the second entry short, if you look at the top right-hand corner of Bookmap that's just streams live on YouTube, there was 3 times the amount of sellers there than buyers. Now, I'm no expert, but to me that meant we were coming down, and we did. And when we came down to the bottom here, it changed from the sellers to the buyers, and it went up. So whether I'll open it quickly. it's on YouTube, and I'll just show you just for a second. I don't want to block the stream, but where is it? Where's the history? Here we go. If you look on YouTube, it's just got live ES futures bookmap. I'll drag it in. You can see it's there. This is what you're looking at here live, and it's playing live. So I'll open it up and just drop it on the stream quickly. So that's it there. It looks completely bloody confusing. But when I was looking at, if you look at this right-hand corner, so there's more buyers. There's twice as many buyers and sellers, and the market's going up. When I took the trade, there was 3 times as many sellers. So I think that's what it means. So it looks like there's more buyers at the moment. And look what's happening. Market's going up. See what I mean? So if there's more buyers down here, then that might be an indication we are pushing back in, because I hate getting caught in these damn things. If you can see a load of sellers up here, or if it's slowly pushing down here, you see this, if I went short there, now it only came down a bit and came back up. Fortunately, it didn't stop us out. But if this starts pushing down and I see really aggressive selling, that tells me I may get more than a point or two, and it might push down. Are you with me? So I think it might be useful. It may be a useful tool. I don't know. So I don't know. It's just something to look into. But if it keeps me on the right, see, all of a sudden now, if I see loads, that link is a very good one. Yeah. If I now see hardly any sellers, that tells me I don't want to be looking for shorts, because normally at the top of range you'd be looking for shorts. And if all of a sudden there's really aggressive buyers, that tells me we're going to push out of here. So it may be a useful tool, just to, if anything, just to stop you getting trapped. Because, you know, usually you short the tops, but yesterday it came up like this, and every time we had a bearish bar at the top, it came down. And when I took in it, it came down about 3 ticks, pushed up and stopped me out for 2 or 3 points. Now, if there wouldn't have been as many shorts above that or sellers above there, then I may not have taken that trade, and I may have saved myself, you know. Use it as a filter to keep you out. Could definitely be. Absolutely. I don't see a problem with it. I know some people, you know, are a bit old hat. No, we don't need that. I always keep my eyes open. I'll never change my strategy. But if it keeps me on the right side of the market, and it may stop me from getting trapped, because I'm still quite an experienced trader, you know. Now, all of a sudden now, if there's a bearish bar here and all of a sudden there's aggressive selling, that would indicate to me maybe this isn't the channel, maybe this is a failed breakout. So I think it'll help your decision making. But you can actually have the software. I think it's something like $25 a month. And obviously you can do all the adjustments, but if you have it on YouTube, it's playing 24 hours a day live. You can just watch it. There's an ES version. I think there's a NASDAQ version. I'm wondering if this range is established enough to take a lower high failed breakout. That's what I mean. If all of a sudden there's a bearish bar, there's hardly any buyers and a shitload of sellers, that would tell me that maybe the perfect signal buy, yeah, it might just help you make a good decision. Where are we? So, yeah, see, I'm thinking, I was thinking short at the moment. Obviously, there was no bar there, but if there had been a bearish bar, every time we got a bearish bar, came down eventually. Another bearish bar came down. So if I'm thinking range and I see another bearish bar here and I sell it and it triggers me and pushes up. Now, if there's strong sellers there, I should notice I can't see in the bar. I can only see what the bar's telling me. Once it ticks below that bar, I got no idea what's going on. I can only hope the market's going to come down. But if it ticks below and there's all of a sudden aggressive selling, that tells me it's possibly going to push lower. I only trade 5 setups and I scalp 2. Yeah. See, straight away, 2 points for me. I agree with 2 points. I think a point is, now it works for Mac, and now I believe he trades 15 scalp contracts and 5 runners. Now he'll probably, if he takes a trade here, he'll probably let it run right the way down, and that's where he'll make most of his money. But personally, I very rarely see a trade that makes 1 point that doesn't make 2. So for me, it's 100% extra profit. So I think 2 points is ideal. If we're in a downtrend, what I may do, and there's enough for him to the bottoms, I may do 4 points. But if the market comes down to here, I may drop my profit and secure 2 points with my stop as a scalp. I've heard of Vlad. Yeah, doesn't he just take small setups, just a couple of setups? You don't get along, do you not? Yeah, he puts something on there, doesn't he? He only takes second entries and fairlies. I don't think he picks tops and bottoms, I don't, is it? I need to spend more time on the forum. Actually, perhaps I'm missing out on something. I thought it was just maybe for a bit of chit chat. Vlad is arrogant. I know someone else like that. He was the guy that used to be on this stream, really arrogant. What's his name? I forget his name now. So, what's going on here? He's talking down to new traders. Vlad. Where's he from? Is he sort of Eastern Bloc type thing? It might just be his the way, some people, depending on where they're from, they might be a bit like that. Incredible trader. There you go. As far as I'm concerned, if someone's good at something, I'll latch myself to them. I've got no problem. I can get round personality. So strong push up, strong pull down, pull back. So is this just a failed breakout? Isn't it too high for a failed breakout? See what happens here. Is Bulgarian okay? It might just be I find the Germans sometimes can be a bit arrogant. But it's just their way, I think. French can be as well, actually. Do you know what? I remember years ago when I was about 21, I went to work in a ski resort in the French Alps. And I remember coming back, and I came via Paris, and I asked someone in a train station, how did I get to so-and-so? And I asked them in French, and they told me in perfect English. They didn't speak English. So sometimes these different nationalities can be a bit different. Okay, so maybe this is just a failed breakout. He can trade. That's good enough for me. To be honest with you, if anyone can trade well and make money, even if they make consistent money, it doesn't have to be a huge amount. I got the utmost respect for them because I know how bloody hard trading is and how miserable it can make you. I've had days where I've put my head in my hands and I feel like I could literally burst into tears. Sometimes you feel physically sick. It's horrible. Price is reversed to the tick. Range measured move. Oh, hello. So that may have been a failed breakout then. Okay, try go once. No, not the nationality. No, it doesn't. Some people are a bit. Who was the other guy? I had a bit of a falling out with him. He just sent me a nasty message. Said I should give up. I shouldn't stream. I should do this, that. No, I don't know what it was, but I got rid of him anyway. I got no time for nasty people. There's no need for it. You know, everyone's different experiences. Some people are brand new. Some people have been doing it years. You know, we've all been beginners sometime. And it's hard when you do ask stupid questions. The Brits speak in countless metaphors, which is fun. So I can find the right train, really. We had I was in Kenya years ago. We got married in Kenya. We had some Germans there. And I think at the time it was the World Cup, I think. And they weren't very pleasant, I've got to say. Kenya, yeah, I got married in Kenya 18 years ago, I think, something like that. 17, 18 years ago, I think. I'll tell you what, for you guys, I don't know what the story is now. I spent a couple of weeks in Cuba about 10 years ago. I don't know whether you guys can go there from the US, can you? I think you had, at the time, I think you had to fly to somewhere else and then to Cuba. But Cuba, wow, what a holiday. I absolutely loved Havana, I did. Fantastic. Rowdiest in my, yeah, they can be. But then we met some in Cuba, actually, and they heard my name was Lance, and straight away, Lance Armstrong, and that got us off to a conversation. But yeah, in Kenya, they were real arrogant. They wouldn't sit with us. It was snidey remarks. Oh, you can now, yeah. I'll go to Havana before it changes. It's almost like going back 60 years in time. Not many places you can do that. Places like, I went to Egypt years ago as well, going down the River Nile. I mean, if you're, you know, some places down the side of the Nile, they sort of haven't changed since biblical times. So, but there's not many places like that anymore. You know, sort of Westerners are grabbing hold of them, and obviously Cuba's going to change. But love Cuba too. Yeah, I thought Cuba's amazing. I loved Havana. We spent 3 nights in Havana. It was picture perfect. I loved it. North Korea. I've not done North Korea. South Korea is supposed to be quite nice, isn't it? North Korea, yeah, it's not the ideal holiday resort, is it? Yeah. It's a funny old place, isn't it? Soviet times in North Korea. Strange enough, I'd like to go to Russia, actually. Something about Russia I kind of like. But Australia's on my list. I'm a big cricket fan, and we have a tournament with the UK and and Australia called the Ashes, a cricket tournament, and in fact it's in the UK. Starts in a few weeks, but it's every 2 years. So one time it'll be in Australia, then 2 years it'll be in the UK, and that's what I'd like to do, go to Australia for 5 weeks. Just sit watching cricket in the outdoors, supping some cool beers. Ooh, love it. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I'm not necessarily convinced that is a bigger channel. It might just be a small channel. Try to go once, try to go twice, failed, push down, I don't know. Sound great. We went on safari, actually. We flew when we were in Kenya. We went for 3 weeks we went on safari for a week. So we spent a week at the resort in Mombasa, and then we did a safari, and then we came back for the following week and got married. But we flew to the Masai Mara actually, and you fly past Kilimanjaro, and it's all snow capped, and it's just incredible. But I got to say, we flew on a plane 2 hours to the Masai Mara, and on the way back, Doncaster. Are you from Doncaster, Edward? Doncaster. I spent a bit of time in Doncaster working years ago. Nah, but it's raw Africa. I like it. But yeah, we flew back from the Masai Mara to Mombasa, and we flew in. It was about a 35-seater plane, and we flew through this storm, and I have never experienced anything in my life. It went pitch black. We were getting battered with hail, and me and my wife were sort of sat across the aisle, and she was holding my hand, and it was almost like we were saying our goodbyes. I've just never experienced that. I nearly shit myself. I'm not the best flyer in the world, but when you go we were bouncing all over the place. Scary stuff. Took that trade, the fairly, did you? It does look like it's coming back and retesting the tops, doesn't it? So we got short-term trend channel break. You took that one, did you, Nick? Or did you take struggle once, struggle twice, failed? Did you get to take the fairly, did you? Because there was a second entry long which triggered, so trouble is it's going a bit sideways, isn't it? Anyone take that fair? I like to think it's coming down. See, we did break out, and then we came back in strongly, didn't we? Pushed up. See, there was a second entry long, which might have triggered a few. What did it come down? 2 points, did it? Oh, yeah, you wouldn't have squeezed 2 points. Reversal type. That's going to be sideways, isn't it? You can't what, bud? What can't you do? It's not a reversal, just a failure. No, I mean, we'd had a break of this, and we'd had a bullish bar, so that may have trapped some longs, isn't it? Well, obviously not many, judging by it didn't do nothing when it broke lower. No, Doncaster is like going back 60. You're from Doncaster, are you, Edward? Doncaster did some work up there. Northeast, isn't it? Well, is it south northeast, isn't it, or something? Doncaster. I worked there for a while years ago. Go short. You sound like who's the guy in? Who's the Indian guy we had on here? My sister lives in Nairobi. Oh, fantastic! Something nice about Africa. And I've got a buddy in what's it? What's from South Africa? He's probably here somewhere. I do love South Africa. I've not been there, but as a cricket fan. Newlands Stadium in South Africa just looks incredible. We've got Table Mountain in the back. Yeah, it's a place on my list to go. South Africa. It's supposed to be nice to live there. Just need space before making a new look. Yeah, I'm not a fan of going short just yet. It's going a little bit sideways. Just a touch. If you're going to go. Yeah, see, it's a little bit sideways there. And who mentioned going short? There was a failure there, but you wouldn't have squeezed 2 points, and I'm not a fan of when it does this. It might just retest it a bit and then carry on down, but let's have a look. It was one yesterday that kept going, go short. In all fairness, the market tanked, didn't it, in the end? Trouble is, when someone's saying that, it's very hard not to get sort of excited and want to just... I was just looking at that red sell button up there thinking, oh, I want to hit it. I had to. I took that short, and I 2/3 of the way down, and I had to come out for 1.75. I was so tempted to just hold it, but the trouble is, if someone says short, you just can't do it. You've got to follow your own rules, haven't you? At least to a degree. Okay, there's a second entry short there. Second entry short there. It's the trouble is it's a little bit congested. Although I like the bar, I like where it is. We've had a break new low. We've tried to test it 3 times. You won't consider that reversal pattern. Both 3 attempts. Opposite direction. Previous trend. It is a second entry short. That I'm just not a massive fan of going short right into this one too. I mean, it probably work, but I'm just not a fan of them. It's not the sort of high probability trades I want to be doing just at the moment. Not a fan. Trouble is, it may tick below and then come up and stop you out. Oh, there you go. There's the answer. How did the pound do it? I don't know. I know yesterday he got battered, didn't he? I think he lost $2,500 yesterday, $1,200 the day before, I think. Okay. Yes, there's another short there. It's gone up and come down again. Trouble, I think it's risky just going short into these bottoms. You haven't got much really. I am trying to be a better trader just thinking sod it, just wait for the top setups. Trouble is with me, sometimes I take risky setups. You know, I might take a short all along when there's hardly any room there, and some of my trades have been questionable lately. And I think it's all part of the going short after a break in a retest of the bear market is sketchy, which, oh, look at that. Well, it definitely worked. So if you would have taken that one, you'd have been out for 4 points in a blink of an eye. But yeah, you know. But we do get this pattern a lot, don't we? We get a push down, a little bit of sideways with a slight angle and another leg down there. So at least it worked anyway, but so let's see what happens here, because we've had that break out the top. Are we going to have a break out the bottom? Is there going to be a bigger channel down here? Or is it just leg break leg? I'm not sure where to put that. You may put it there actually, but we've surpassed that now. Okay, so we've broken down the bottom here. Actually, I think you could even probably bring that down a bit. Yeah, touch, 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 touch. I'm not convinced it is an overshoot. We've got a touch there, touch there, touch there. So it's had 4 touches, so this might just be the slightly newer low, possibly. Off to the next job. TC all. Yeah, take it easy, bud. Price spiking. Certainly a lot. Wasn't watching the stream when it happened. No, I haven't seen anything, bud. Haven't seen anything out of the ordinary. Kevin McCarthy is speaking now, is he? See, if that's any type of news that could affect the market, surely we should have something on here. I don't know how it works. Did you have a runner here, Nick, or not? Or was just you in and out, bud? It's nice when you see that, isn't it? If you take profit down here and a runner and that happens. I think that's why it dropped, do you think so? Yeah, I can't see where there would be any long stops there, really, which would push it that quick anyway. Low volume, big candles. There's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, slightly bigger candles, but nothing out of the ordinary. Runner got stopped there. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting how that stopped there. We've got the bottom of that leg there, the bottom of that bigger leg there, right on there. Sometimes you think markets are random, and then when you start looking, they're not really, are they? Oh, push up, big bearish bar. Let's have a look. Oh, is that going to push up? Stop that out? Are we going to go back to the tops? Or is this a failure and down some more? Let's have a look, see if there's another channel there. No, I find when I take trades in the middle of this, around that midline, I tend to get battered. So what I don't get is, if we're having these talks, this McCarthy talk, why isn't there anything? Surely we should have something. I mean, this is Mac's thing. Surely we should have something on here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, leg, break leg. Actually, that measured leg would take us right to the top of this channel range. It's a circumstantial one. Oh, I got you. Okay, push up, try go once, try go twice. You can swear for real on this channel, Nick, if you want. I don't mind. It's just Facebook. You can't. I'm forever getting banned in Facebook. I think there was something on Facebook a few months ago that said, would you give out alcohol for $1 million? I went, I'd murder me bloody mother for $1 million, and I got banned for 3 days. Okay, try and go once, try and go twice. I'd say it's possibly likely we're going to have another leg up. Yeah, you got to be careful. They take it completely out of context. I called someone someone on a, oh, I don't know, was it somebody mentioned something about a cryptocurrency and he gave me a load of grief, so I called him a sad twat. Got banned for 2 days. So you got to be really careful. So if I call somebody something now, I just miss a couple of the letters and turn them into, I don't know, something else. Yeah, exactly. Give up alcohol for $1 million. Give me something challenging. I'll give it up alcohol. Anyone have Mac's phone? No, I would like to call him during this fishing trip to clarify this. He's in Alaska, isn't he? I think. Is he in Alaska? It would be nice to have him on speed dial. We can get him on the stream and say, right, what do you want to do? Do you know something? I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, Mac says it. I don't know why people like Mac don't stream their live trades. Now, when I say stream, I mean Zoom or something. He doesn't need to say a word. He just needs to trade. People would pay $100, $200 a month for that. He'd make a fortune. You'd get hundreds and hundreds of people paying. Well, the Penguin guy, I rate the Penguin guy. I think he's quite good. He certainly sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Okay, so we've got to push up, try go once, try go twice. I'd expect that to push up to the top here, this measured move. Unfortunately, it's a bit congested and I don't want to get stuck in there, just in case. So, okay, so yeah, it's a failure, that is. But the trouble is it might trigger and push down. It's a little bit sideways, but we got a leg. Oh, look at that. So someone obviously did go long there, I'm assuming. Trouble is, every time I've taken trades around these middles, I just get chopped up, so I've given up now. Okay, so somebody did take that failure. But the trouble is, it's just got congested written all over it. Yeah, I've given up getting in this lot around the middle. You just get battered. Stressing him out. Well, what he needs, he doesn't need to say anything. He could just zoom his live stream and he could just have no comments or nothing. So people literally just copy him and make a fortune. I'll just copy exactly what he does. I'd pay a fortune for that. I'd pay $200 a month for that. I bet another 1,000 people would as well. He'd make $200,000 a month. So yeah, it's just zoom it, live zoom it. He doesn't have to have no comments, and all he's got to say is, "I'm looking at a trade now" or something or whatever, and I'll just copy him. I'll have my wife on another screen copying him. My daughter would make a fortune. Yeah, some people like quiet and privacy. Because I'm a bit of an out loud thinker. I kind of like talking my trades out aloud, or my thought process. Okay, so we've got a matching high here. Try go once, try go twice, failure. It's sold off really strong there, so I'm just wondering whether there's another a channel working down there. That looks like a spike in a channel. Is it possible? Is there something working down there? Possible. I just can't go short when we're only a couple of points from the lows, but we've got a matching high. Try go once, try go twice. Failure hasn't triggered yet. Yeah, I don't doubt that, mate. I doubt it's not that simple. It seems easy, but yeah, you've got people are watching you, so to a degree, it could change your thought process. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It doesn't work for everyone. Some people like the quiet and private, don't they? Teach us fishing, yeah. Nice biblical reference there, mate. I like that. Yeah, it's always best. The trouble is, if anything happens to Matt, we're all buggered then, aren't we? Yeah, I mean, there are people out there that give you signals, aren't there? But I think it's much better to learn to trade yourself. Okay, so that FOMC is about 2 hours. It may just continue to do a lot more of this. Fortunately, I got in with a nice trade earlier on, so I'm 200 up in this account and another. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. I tell you what I would like, though. I would love to see for him to just mention, I took that one and that one and that one. The trouble is he shows so many trades. Some of them are quite high-tech. Some of them are questionable. So the trouble is, if we think we can take all these trades, I'd love him to go, these are the trades I'd marked, but out of the day, I took that short there and that one there. And it would give us the idea of how safe his trades are. Because he puts a dozen trades a day, but he says he only takes 2. So why show a dozen of ones that weren't good enough and not tell us the ones he did? You know, sometimes you wonder whether it does you any favours. See, I'm thinking, well, he said I can take that one. He said, I mean, the other day, he marked 2 dojis in a row as trades. Now, some people are going to look at those and think it's okay to take a doji. Yeah, Dan tells me, trying to tell which ones he... Yes, he said that. I've asked him about that, and he says if you listen carefully, sometimes, you know, he might go, yeah, I like that trade, I like something like that. He did say, I don't think it's a problem. Why? But I think it would help people, because the trouble is, he shows lots of different trades. Some of them are riskier than others, and you need to know, really, which trades are riskier. If he marks that one, but it's a riskier trade and he didn't take it, I'd like to know that. And the trouble is, when you don't know what somebody trades, you don't know how safe they are, or, you know. Well, we can't force him. Yeah, I agree, Sam. I like bigger winners, mate. I mean, if we're in a trending market, if we're in a downtrend, then I take a short here. I'd like to bring my take profit down and let it come down, and then maybe jam my stop in and secure myself 2 points and use that as a method of scalping, because obviously I haven't got the luxury of trading enough to be able to trade with a runner. You know, maybe if the market comes down to here and I bring my stop down here and secure 2 points, and then slowly bring my stop down and try and secure more points, because it is a shame really when you take 2 points here and the market comes down a further 20. It's frustrating really sometimes. You just get a measly 2 points and it has a 20-point move. But I think on trending days, I don't see any harm with, if you're just, doing 2 points, maybe bring your profits down to the lows, and when it gets close, take your take profit level and bring your stop down and secure something. I'm on Apex now, but I'm thinking of opening an account on my own. You can trade both, I think, can't you? Your own account and Apex. I think Nick does that, don't you? So it looks like we got 2 legs down here. Try and go once, try and go twice. Might be 2 attempts to go higher. So I do listen to the Penguin guy. I think he's okay. I think to me, he reads the markets very well. And he goes for 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, doesn't he? So sometimes he'll risk 1 for 1 and then he'll risk 1 for 2. Most unfortunate is when you wait for a setup and the signal bar is just terrible. Yeah, it does seem to happen more and more. When I started doing this a couple of years ago, there seemed to be way more trades, way more setups. Every time it came back to the EMA, you get a nice second entry and down it'd go. Now it doesn't often that happen. Okay, so we've had these sort of 2 legs down. We've pushed up. Try to go higher. See if anyone's finished yet. Yeah, I wonder if those nerves ever go the more experience you get. I mean, if you've been trading for 5 years full time, making consistent money, you think they'll have to fade away to a degree, wouldn't you? I mean, at the end of the day, you're still risking money. Money's always going to have that same sort of, bond with you, isn't it? You don't want to give it up, but at some point you think it would fall away to a degree. And I've got Marl, another buddy of mine, has taken beta blockers at some point just to try and calm his heart rate down when he's trading. People do strange things, don't they? You'll have to get us all some beta blockers, Nick. Or some sort of tranquilizer. Pat's still. Yeah, it may continue to do this for a while. When's that big news event? It's in about an hour and 50 minutes. In fact, I'm probably going to knock it on the head, actually. And I've been trading 2 hours, 45 minutes. I can't see me taking a trade now. Fortunately, I got a little trade yesterday. Did I trade yesterday before the market opened? And then nothing during normal market hours, and same today. I had that second entry short earlier. And then nothing really. There was one, what's it mentioned that? There, lower high there. The only bit that made me nervous is this little trend here. It looked like we may have had a bit of a break and a push down to a new low, so I thought it may trigger me and push up, but it was okay in the end. Watch Max Holy Grail trading video. And change everything. Holy Grail. Oh, yeah. That was a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah. The Holy Grail is there is no Holy Grail, isn't it? Basically, basics follow the rules. I think personally, food's about everything. Everything you put in your body has an effect on you. Last I heard, there was about 80,000 chemicals cleared in the UK for food production. Unbelievable. We don't know what all that does. Even things like sort of asthma and all sorts of stuff, they reckon, can be improved dramatically down to lifestyle. Apparently, we all suffer with ADHD to a degree, and my wife works in mental health, where she works. They look after people with ADHD, and apparently everyone's on the spectrum to a degree. I mean, we all have a certain, a certain degree of it. I mean, some people have got a real good attention span. Other people, I don't know. Sometimes I get a bit of restless leg syndrome sometimes, and oh hello, pushy downy. Okay, so. Now, the Penguin guide say we had this push down. We made 2 attempts to go higher. Short-term trend channel break, new high, and then down. Be interesting whether he marks this as a short, actually. I think he will. Because to me, we've had this breakout. We've had 2 legs down. We've tried to go higher once, twice. Short-term trend channel break. I think the Penguin guy will mark that. And have you noticed sometimes when he marks his channels, where's the risk reward? He'll mark it down here somewhere, like that. He marks it maybe to a couple of ticks below and above. He'll do something like that, as maybe 1 to 1 or possibly 2 to 1. Yeah, I think a lot of people do to a degree. I find it hard. If I'm really interested in something, I'm okay and I can focus and I absorb it like a sponge. But if I'm not interested, God, it drives me crazy sitting there listening to someone that's boring the arse off me. Yeah, apparently we all do to a degree. My attention span is short sometimes. I mean, I quite often go and get to bed at night, and I'm absolutely knackered. As soon as I get to bed, I can't stop fidgeting. I find it hard to read. I'm much better with audiobooks than a physical paper book. But for me, it's about interest. If something interests me, I'm all in. Masses of focus, and I dive in head first. If it doesn't interest me, just can't absorb it. Yeah, we'll look at that one later. See if what's it mentions that the Penguin guy. But I think he'll go. We've had a breakout. We've made 2 legs down. We've made 2 attempts to go higher. Come back down. I reckon he'll short that. A couple of ticks below, a couple of ticks above. Okay, I'm knocking on the head now. It's we've been going 8 minutes under 3 hours. I can't see much happening now. I think it's just going to keep chopping until the news in about an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. So it's a shame I can't leave you on the chat really, and you can all carry on. But there you go. So one of bets. JJ products, yeah, it's not about being able to focus extremities, because of course everyone can struggle with focus. Yeah, so I suppose as long as there's meds for it, it helps you. In fact, I don't know how it would help. How would it I don't know how it would be as a trader. It's been easy to get them recently. So well, I've done $200 on this one, and the other two $100 on each of them. So I'm just trading one at 2 contracts and the other 2 at 1. And the one of them I'm about $850 off hitting that 2,600 mark. So okay, yeah, that's it for the day for me, guys. 1 trade, 2 points, that'll do over 3 accounts. So it looks just to me like it's going to keep on chopping backwards and forwards. So that's it for today. I'll be back here again tomorrow. So I appreciate all your comments and the chit chat. And so far, positive day. Sometimes on these FOMC days, it can be just tough trading. It's not been fantastic, but there's been a couple of opportunities here, and I don't know, you may have... I think Nick took a failure there. There was a couple may have took a failure there, and someone may have gone long there or something. So I think there's been a few. You're welcome, mate. So I think there's been a few trades around, but it has been tough lately. I mean, I've sat here 3 hours and hardly seen anything worth taking. And it does get a bit frustrating. So there you go. That's it for today. If you're carrying on trading, good luck. I hope something comes for you, but I've got a feeling it's going to continue to do this. Well, at least up to the news anyway. So there you go. So that's it for today. I'll be back here again tomorrow, normal time. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and I will catch up with you all again tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye, Angela. Bye-bye. Keep my $171. Good on you. Well done. Nice to be up green, isn't it? It's nice to... I always find the evenings a lot more relaxing when you're green, because you can literally forget about it and go home. You've not got that annoying thing in the back of your mind thinking, damn, why did I take that one? But yeah, I like to go home on the green, so it makes life easier. So there you go. So